All right, guys. I'm pretty certain, every single boxing channel on this whole platform, this whole boxing community on YouTube, have already reported this news. But I might as well do it, right? Because maybe you guys want to hear my opinion on it, even though you've probably seen several boxing channels' opinion on what they think of this. Anyway, as you can see, it says Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury have agreed terms for a two-fight deal, says promoter Eddie Hearn. It's fair to say that in principle, both guys have agreed to that fight, two fights. So I'm going to just be quoting some of the things that is saying is has said in this was said in this article. Anthony Joshua has reached an agreement with Tyson Fury on a two-fight deal, says promoter Eddie Hearn. Right? We are making great progress. There is still a lot to overcome. We're looking at venues and dates. Okay, so they haven't figured out the venue and the dates exactly of where these two are going to fight. But it seems that they have reached a financial agreement. So that means they have decided, like, all right, this is how much you're going to get for these two fights for both of these fighters. So that right there tells me this fight's going to 100% happen, because that's normally the biggest roadblock. The biggest roadblock in these big fights for not happening is always how much the guy's going to make, how much. So I'm very happy that I'm seeing that this is saying that they reached on the financial terms, because that means that both Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury were happy with the money that they were being offered, or the percentage they were going to take for this fight. That's something that's something that Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua were never able to do. Deontay Wilder was never able to come to that financial agreement of, what they were offering him, and that's why that fight never happened. So I'm actually very happy that they're saying that they both agreed in terms of what they were actually receiving for this. But you see, as what it says here, it says we have the Dillian White mandatory, which is due before this fight. It's fair to say Joshua and Fury are in agreement regarding the financial terms of the fight. We're in a good place. It's fair to say that, all right, in principle. So the only thing that worries me about this is the Dillian White mandatory situation, because now these two are definitely going to fight next year. So I'm super excited for that, because we're finally going to get undisputed. Whatever happens, we're gonna get undisputed. This is the fight I wanted to see. I want to see undisputed. But the only thing that worries me is the Dillian White situation, because I don't want it to be a thing where Tyson Fury fights Anthony Joshua as the franchise WBC champion. Like, I don't want that shit to happen. I want him to be the WBC champion. So are they gonna like squeeze in the Dillian White fight? Is it gonna be like in 2021 he fights Anthony Joshua twice and Dillian White? He has to fight the Dillian White before. It says that we have the Dillian White mandatory, which is due before this fight. So that means he would have to fight Dillian White first. So is it going to be a thing where he'll fight like Dillian White early 2021, and then he fights Anthony Joshua mid 2021 and late 2021? That would be reasonable, right? And so I'm glad that, but obviously before he fights any of these guys, before he fights Anthony Joshua and Dillian White, he has to fight Deontay Wilder, because I saw Tyson Fury tweeted first he has to fight. He has to get rid of Deontay Wilder, so he will be fighting Deontay Wilder later on this year, I'm assuming, and then he fights Anthony Joshua for the two rematches. But what happens if he loses to Wilder? That's another thing. I guess he still fights Anthony Joshua, right? Because he says he's going to fight Anthony Joshua, but first he has to fight Deontay Wilder. So that's the thing that I'm curious about. What happens if he loses to Deontay Wilder? He's no longer the WBC champion. Would this fight still go on? Would he still go on to fight Anthony Joshua twice? Because I would imagine the whole purpose of him fighting Anthony Joshua twice is because they want to become undisputed, right? But how can it become undisputed if he lost his title to Deontay Wilder? So he has to really beat Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? So, because again, that's not a foregone conclusion. Even though I'm picking him to beat Deontay Wilder, that's still not a foregone conclusion. This is boxing, and you could lose at any second. At any moment. If you don't take your opponent seriously, you could get caught with a right hand and get knocked out yourself. So this is why this is very you can't always like think it's gonna just be the outcome. So anyway, guys, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, and I'm out.